This is a blockchain. Even though it looks something complex to understand, in the real world it's actually quite simple. The blockchain is the engine for every cryptocurrency. It's responsible for its operation. Let's look a little bit deeper in this class. Blockchain technology. Well, a not so usual name, but you probably have already heard about. To summarize, blockchain is simply the engine of each digital currency. Not only Bitcoin, but any other altcoin, the blockchain is the engine. It's what makes the validation, it's what makes the mathematical calculations behind the cryptocurrency. So let's take a deeper look so you can understand it better. To explain exactly how the blockchain works, the miners utilize blockchains to validate their mined currencies. How does a person that's gonna send their bitcoins to another person or from a Bitcoin exchange to the other? To see how it works in the real world, I have to explain you a little bit more about the peer-to-peer technology, who we may call the mother of blockchain. Many of you might not even know what peer-to-peer is, but have already used it over the internet. So let me show you some images to explain to you better what this is. I want you to understand, where does this technology come from? Is it something new or is it kind of old? This image represents, in a very objective way, how the internet works nowadays. To explain to you how blockchain works, I needed to understand how internet nowadays work, or how it's started working from the peer-to-peer market. How internet worked since the peer-to-peer market, so you can understand the roots of the blockchain technology. I'll give you very superficial initial explanations so you can really understand how it works. So in the past, many of the servers or many of the files available on the internet, they were originated in a single location. What do you mean by a single location? So let's say that the computer on the left is you and the computer on the right, it's me. So when we download something from the internet, so let's say we want to download a free antivirus or a movie or a video from the internet. So we'll send a command from our computer to a server. The information will arrive at the server that we want something, and this information will come back to you. We call this process download and upload. So when you send an information to the server, you're doing an upload. And when you receive this information back from the server, you're doing a download, right? Understanding that this is the most, let's say, archaic method of internet utilization, if this server is down, if it's off the air, what happens? We all lose the connection with the server. If we were performing a download in real time, me, you, and other people are downloading some files from this server. If this server is down, we wouldn't have access anymore. So me, you, and other people are downloading some files from this server. We wouldn't have access anymore. How many of us have experienced something like this? You started downloading a file and then there was an error message. So this used to happen a lot, but nowadays, not so much. So now let's have a better understanding on where and how the peer-to-peer technology comes. Remember that this scenario exists. Many computers or many people around the world in a single server trying to do all this, trying to manage all these accesses around the world. So now let's see an image that represents the peer-to-peer, also known as torrent. So maybe you have not heard about the word blockchain, but torrent you might have heard of. It's the technology or the method which we use to make a download. Something's missing in this image. We're missing a server, the central server that was in the other image. Where is this server? That's right, it doesn't exist anymore. 90% of the times, it simply doesn't exist. Sometimes it might even exist, but it's going to be only another computer in this grid. So let's imagine we have a server here. So it's simply going to act as another computer connected to this network. What is this network? This network is the peer-to-peer market. It's the P2P network. How does it work? When I want to download a file, so let's imagine this is me, and this one is you. When I want to download a file from the internet, I'm going to have some specific software to make a search. And this program is going to do a search with all these people, with all these computers that are connected to the network at this very moment. All people who are online at this very moment are going to receive like a message. Will be searched with the keywords that I insert in my computer. They will start streaming this file and putting this file, and this file will be put together inside my computer. When I start downloading the file, this file is not going to be coming from a single source. So let's say that all these computers here have the same file that I'm interested in, or only 3 of them have the same file. I will start downloading fragments of this file from all of these computers. When I start to download, I'm not downloading from a single source, only from this computer, for example. But I'll be downloading from the server, this computer on the top, and this computer in the bottom. So consider how easy the work has become to the server. The download is being distributed not only inside the server, so I'm downloading the file from 3 different sources. So the file will be coming not only from the server, if the server has the file, but it will be coming from other peers that have the file as a whole or parts of it. So when I start to download, I'm not downloading from a single source, only from this computer, for example. Nowadays, everyone is connected to everyone. Is this better? Does it work? So the result of this in this analysis is the blockchain network. So the blockchain network, instead of doing this download from another computer, it will validate transactions. It will validate, let's call banking, even though there's no bank, but that will validate financial transactions. So let's say when I get a Bitcoin and I transfer this digital currency to a person, so let's say that Junior is sending a Bitcoin to Sylvia. So it won't be, in theory, what would be a direct transaction here from Junior to Sylvia will not necessarily be a direct transaction. It will be validated by every single one of the computers connected on the blockchain. So all of these computers integrated in this blockchain will be aware that this transaction has happened. All of them connected via the blockchain network. If any of these computers, which are obviously not only these 6 computers, but as many computers as you can imagine, with any of these computers, one of them needs to be formatted, or they are not connected to the internet, or they're not on, it doesn't matter. All the other computers connected to the blockchain work as a backup, that the blockchain is safe. If a hacker would invade the server or a server, so this hacker wouldn't be able to do that by hacking only into a single server. This hacker would have to invade not only the single server, not only the server itself, but all the other active computers connected to the blockchain around the world that would be linked or connected to the Bitcoin world. This is fantastic. Would it be possible for someone to do something like this? So this would be virtually impossible for a hacker to attack all these computers connected worldwide at once. All the other computers would not validate this transaction. So let's check it in the real world. Let's take a look at how this works. So to better illustrate this, follow me on this image here on the left, and then we're going to the website to see the fully operational blockchain. As you can see, the miner trading from one computer to the other, you can observe the person trading from one computer to the other, and at the same time, the miners are doing their work and obtaining Bitcoins. In an instant way, these operations are being validated. So whenever a person sends a Bitcoin to another person, or when a miner is finally capable of collecting a Bitcoin and sending it to your wallet, this is validated and everybody inside the network knows that this happened. And then you will be able to see that the hashes, the transactions have been made. So this is what we call an open book, when any person that is a part of the system can verify the transaction. So let's check this out on the blockchain website. This is the official blockchain website. So you'll be able to see the exploration of each currency. At the same time, we'll also open the CoinMarketCap website. With this, you'll be able to see that you can find the exploring block of every digital currency. As you've seen in the CoinMarketCap, when you click in any of these currencies, let's for instance click here on Ripple, you have the official information from the currency's website, the Explorer blockchain or block, and the message. So let's click here on this on the Explorer and let's check Ripple. So while it's loading, while it's still loading, let's go back to the blockchain of Bitcoin. So you might ask, like, why do I have to access the blockchain website? So one of the reasons is to watch a transaction. So for instance, I sent a Bitcoin to a person, and I want to know if this Bitcoin has already arrived to this person. So whenever a person demands something like a proof of payment, so you can go to your history, you can go to your transaction or withdrawal history, you can check your balance and your history. So this status and confirmations will show you the hash. So it will show you the wallet. So this wallet here has made a transaction of 50 Bitcoins to my wallet. I can visualize this hash right here. All the transactions have a hash, which is the TXID, also known as hash. You will copy this hash and you will paste it on the blockchain website. Let's see how many validations have happened. You know when you hear someone saying like, oh, the guy told me he sent a Bitcoin, but it hasn't been validated yet? So we have to wait until it's been validated. How many validations are there? So depending on the quantity of validations that you have, that can be like 2 validations or 6 validations depending on the fee. In the biggest cryptocurrency exchange, usually are 2 validations. So let's paste the hash code here and let's press enter to search. And here is the transaction itself it's showing that it's been validated and done. Actually, this is an internal transaction from Poloniex. So just a moment. So it's not going to generate the confirmations here. So the Poloniex itself, it's a validator. So let's get another hash that has been sent to another wallet from another place. So I'm going to take this hash here. So let's take this hash here that will show all the transactions that were made on the block and the transactions, in fact, here yours. So let's check the wallet that sent this transaction. Let's copy and see if we can detect here in the middle of all these transactions. Your Bitcoin block, many different transactions. This wallet sent this quantity, this other wallet received this much. There are many transactions in the same block. This block already has all the necessary validations to show that it's been already paid. So let's take a look here. Let's look at our wallet here. So let's press Ctrl F. Let's paste this wallet. So this is one of the transactions, one of them. When you finalize your payment, this is our transaction. Take a look at the value. So you can see that the numbers match. Look, 0.5918999. So this would be our proof of payment. So when you search for this information, or when you hear about the blockchain technology, or when you think of validation, so at any given moment when you perform a transaction, you can follow it. Any given moment when you perform a transaction, you can trace it. So let's go back to the initial website. Any given moment when you want to trace your transaction, you can follow it up on a website. So let's go back to the home page. So this is saying that the last validation block came in 3 minutes ago and another one 3 minutes ago. So there are 2 blocks 3 minutes ago and 2 others 1 hour ago. Actually looks like there's a little bit of a delay. So let's update the website, because usually the blocks show at every 10 minutes or every 20 minutes. Whenever there is too much traffic, it gets a little bit slower. That's why the Bitcoin transactions have an average time of 2 hours. So when the system is not, let's call it jammed, you can have an update 10 minutes or so. So this is how you check that you validate every transaction. So let's check this one here. This is the currency called DGB. So let's check the DGB, which is short for Digibyte. Let's search here for Digibyte. So we open the Explorer. So let's paste what we've copied, which is, as explained, the transactions hash. And it has already been found. So I will delete it. Let's paste it again. Now, this is it. Now we found it. Look how many confirmations it already has. So this transaction has been made a long time ago. So it has 30,465 confirmations. So eternally, let's say, every time a new block is validated, it will also validate all the other transactions that have been made. So do you understand the greatness of this deal? When I perform another transaction from Bitcoins, Digicoins, Dogecoins, or any other digital currency, whenever I have like 1, 2, or 3 validations, whenever I have already validated once, twice, 6 times, it's not gonna just stop. Every time there is a new block, it will revalidate that transaction. So anytime there is a newer validation, a new block, it will also validate the previous transactions that have been made before, we can say like eternally. So whenever a new investor comes to the blockchain world, following this new cluster, or they observe these people who have already been trading in the blockchain, so this person will also be downloading let's say a history of validations that's around like 120 gigabytes of history from all the blockchains that have been made since, let's say, 2009. So now let's go back to the Ripple website that we had opened previously. The Ripple is exactly the same. You just have to type the hash code or the wallet and search. It will find the transaction. The one from Ripple is way more, let's say, modern. So there's no need for us to this modernity right now. What I need you to understand is how the blockchain works. So whenever you hear validation and blockchain, this is what it's used for. This is used to validate transaction both ways. I hope it's clear. Best of luck. See you in the next class.